There we go.
Content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Click OK.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to YouTube because it's always archived YouTube. Because even though we've only got a few people here, we do have people that come back to our YouTube pages and check out what happened and what they missed. Sometimes we get people that are very upset that they missed stuff. In fact, it's kind of funny,
Yeah.
and just,
Yeah.
dude, how come you didn't tell me? He says, we did tell you, and you didn't show up. You go,
Yeah,
well,
right. Yeah.
so it's pretty cool.
Ever since they've switched it from the Google Hangouts to Zoom, I haven't done any. I've done maybe 2 live Zooms, and it was on other people's accounts. I just haven't gotten into doing my Zooms on YouTube yet, and I was doing it hardcore for a while.
Yeah, and all it is just one link button, right, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Very
it's not that
simple.
difficult to do,
Yeah, it
and
used
it
to
just
be a
makes
lot
sense all the
harder.
way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I
Okay.
first tried, it was a mess. I'm like, nope.
Well, we used to have all kinds of different problems because we were trying to do hybrid stuff, just post COVID when we were meeting together, and it was a train wreck. Combination of bandwidth issues and people having wrong levels and stuff like that. Of course, original sound. All you guys make sure you've got original sound on, right? So things like
And
that are just always an issue.
and see that right there, you guys. This is why you guys should be appreciated. It's not just doing stuff. That it takes an effort behind the scenes to do stuff. Once I was doing it, I was like, and people would come in like it was nothing. And like, hold on, bro, we put a lot of effort into this. Thank you guys for the effort. Like we tell our military guys, thank you for your service. Thank you guys for putting in the effort to do this stuff.
Most welcome.
Well, thank you for being here, Matt.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's exciting too because I remember when I first met you. We were talking about that. You were just starting out, really. That was probably close to 20 years ago, I think. And it was a pretty wild time because during the time since I met you, technology has changed radically. The industry has changed radically.
Yes.
Opportunities have changed radically. The playing field has somewhat gotten leveled, but at the same time, overall, everything has gotten much higher. At Taxi this year, it was pretty wild because every one of the guest speakers that was there, every one of the producers and everything else was all saying, my gosh, everything that's coming through here doesn't sound like a demo anymore. Everything that's being, put out there sounds like a finished record. And that was for, people that were just hanging out with their phones, in their car sometimes, and it sounded that good. So the technology is there, the opportunities are there, and because of those changes, there's more opportunities. Like I forgot what is. There's a couple guys that are supposedly credited with a quote of the good news is that anybody can make a CD. The bad news is that anybody can make a CD.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah,
The
I've
the
heard some.
cream still rises to the top, and you have to move the audience. You have to make people like your stuff and want to press play again. So
Absolutely. So Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, where you've been, and what you're doing right now?
I am ex-Navy. I was 8 years in the Navy, and while I was in the Navy, that's when I started doing music. I take gear out to sea on the ships, and that was back in the '90s. When I got out of the military, I came back home to Fresno. We started the switch over to computers, and everyone was arguing, saying, "You can't do music with computers. It's going to take the human feel and the life out of it." And we were switching over to digital, and we didn't have control of. We didn't have everything you start. You got to get you start it, and then you got to get the mastery of it. You got to you might not have it exactly down when you first start. So we went through the early digital stuff, and a lot of the gear that I had got stolen when I got home, and with all that, it was like $46,000 worth of stuff, and it hit me. I said, I need to be to where if this happens again, I don't care. So I'm looking at these computers, and I'm like, okay, how much will it cost for me if somebody steals everything and I have to start over? I started looking at the computer stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm in because like right now, if my laptop and everything goes down, okay, I am literally like, okay. Even stock plugins, the stock plugins in these DAWs, um, I could do some stuff. So 20 years ago, again, 20 years ago, that's a bit more than 20, 30 something years ago in the 90s is when I started. Then we went through the 2000s, and I got online in around 2011 and 12. And everybody thought I was this young kid, but I was actually a seasoned vet, technical dude, troubleshooting. And so we were in this group. We started this group called Pensado Students, and we'd watch this Dave Pensato's show, and you'd have all these new people in there trying to figure out this digital, this DAW stuff and how to do music. And so we were in there debating and sharing articles and YouTube videos, and it was like the wild, wild west. And Dave Pensato and Herb, they would mention us on the show every now and then. They'd be like, "Hey, you guys got to go check this out. These guys are hardcore." And now, when I look, I'm seeing those same people who were in that group. They're members of AES and NAM doing presentations. Some have gotten Grammys, some like they're on the Billboard, all kinds of stuff. My main thing was the have-nots don't get what the elites get. Like I was seeing, like say once you join the Grammys and you start going to those meetings and you see some of the training that they get. Like I was at one and Cook Harrell was showing us how he works the singer. I've got the video of it and everything. It was him and another guy. They were showing us how they work these singers and get these recordings done, like with Rihanna, Beyonce, and whoever. And I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me? You guys are getting this? Really? So I got in my head, I'm a good researcher, good experimenter, whatever. I'll go do the work and bring it to the hood and to the have-nots. So that's what I did. I ran up and down California teaching people in the different hoods and wherever. And I would go and experiment, learn, go teach. And it was audio engineering, producing anything. And so the last thing of it, though, has been the songwriting. I didn't realize how bad our songwriting was, really, how bad we did, how ungood we were until I got to the finish line. I had tried, and I tried to do a pop song. And I'm thinking, pop, it's easy. No. No. So I went down that rabbit hole. And so you have this whole community full of people with all this gear, all this ability to make a beautiful presentation, but we didn't have the songs. Like we spent all this time with microphones or whatever, but we didn't work on the artist being able to deliver a performance to where even if the recording was crappy, it was a compelling performance. And when I first experienced a crappy recording with a compelling performance, and I chose that over this quality recording of crap, it's like, oh man, I'm a baby at this still. So I went down that rabbit hole, learning about performances, about anything before the recording, and that's where I've been at, and I've been teaching that. I've been at that for years, but I finally gotten into where I can go, okay, I understand this a bit, and it's been a lot. But so now my main thing right now is songcraft and teaching people songcraft, showing techniques where they can, no matter what genre, you can use this stuff to make your songs be less boring. In a nutshell, I guess that's me. So mixing, recording, songwriting, producing, I run around doing everything, but really it's been a matter of teaching everybody. We have crews, we've been on the radio, all kinds of stuff. I'd be behind the scenes. I'd come in, I might, if Holbrook was working and I happened to be in there and I knew he wanted something manually de-essed, if he went and got a coffee, if I was there, I'd say, hey bro, I'll manually de-ess this for you. If he said cool, I'd get in there and I would manually de-ess everything. That's the type of stuff I would do behind scenes for the guys that I've trained. So I'd have crews of people that I've trained. And when people would come through, they think I was the old guy who got everybody coffee and kept the studio clean and stuff. And it was just a running joke between us, like, and, until people saw me sit down and start doing the work, you know, and then I'd get up and go back to sweeping or whatever. But so anyway, it's that, and the last thing is the networking. I try to hook people up with people. Like when I met Holbrook, we were in there. Me and this artist, we were at a studio, Yuri's studio. I forget the name of Yuri's studio, but
This place, yeah.
yes, we're there. We hear a song playing, and both of us reacted like, "Wait, what is that? Like, we want some of that. What is that?" And it was Holbrook, and so we went over. I introduced her to him. I was introducing her to everybody that night, but when we heard his stuff, we both just a knee-jerk reaction, just zoned in like, "Whoa, what was that?" But that's the other type of thing I do is I'm at all the events, Jimmy, as you know, you'll see me around, and I'm constantly trying to connect people with people who should be connected with who. Like, it's like if Holbert needs, I don't know, cups, I try to hook him up with people who have cups. I run around doing that, as well as doing songs. You know, I'm songwriting like crazy right now, and I'm having fun and training songwriting over Zooms.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and also you're out in Fresno, and a lot of people think that, well, you got to be in L.A. or Hollywood, you know, or Nashville to really make things happen. And in some ways you do, because that's where the networking happens. But at the same time, you can get a lot done outside of L.A. as long as you visit every now and then. And,
You see how Zoom changed everything?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, in the pandemic. Yeah, it got everybody
yeah,
using Zoom. Yeah.
I meant the pandemic. I meant the pandemic, how it changed everything, because I have elders who would have never, I mean, ever. And they're like Zoom dudes now and ladies. Yes, I'm out in Fresno, California. I run up in, see, Fresno's a center of everywhere where I can go, like, I'm in the middle of California. People think I live in LA. When you guys, when you guys see me in LA, I probably just got there from a 4-hour drive. And when I'm done, we might go out to Santa Monica Beach, Santa Monica Pier, and then head home. Like, we'll be out at Santa Monica Pier at midnight or 1 in the morning, whatever, and then drive back home that night. That's the dedication. You drive up, drive back, and it's like nobody even knows I left. You know.
Yeah, and your friend from Vegas, I thought she was going to be on
Oh.
tonight too.
I have no idea. There was she had a family emergency, so I don't know. A couple of days ago, so I don't know if she's coming on or not. We'll see.
Yeah. But that's one of the other things too about networking and everything else, and all the available things that we have, is that we can share all of our resources and we can put it all out there, and everybody's welcome to it for free.
Yeah.
And yet people don't pick up on it. You know, it's hilarious sometimes. Like this, our next guest speaker on January 8th, we always start off with somebody who can make things happen. Joanne Ledesma has been more than a music supervisor. She's become like a placement specialist, and she has placed our artists in a wide variety of things. And now she runs the Huck Finn Bluegrass Festival and some other stuff too. And yeah, again, she'll be here on January 8th, because January 1st is New Year's Day. January 8th, she's going to be here, and it'll be free. And a lot of people will be whining, man, I can't find any music people that can place my stuff. Well, duh. You know, it's right here. But people don't get it, you know. And they wonder why their stuff isn't placed, because they're not listening to people like Joanne that says, well, this is why your stuff doesn't get placed. You know, if you do these certain things, you can make things happen. So that's what it's all about. And, I want to thank you guys for being here. Rick, I'm glad that you made it, because I'd like to have you guest speak sometime soon. Rick's another incredible producer and everything else too. And I met him at one of the other events that happens here all the time in the LA area in Burbank. So I guess we're just about ready to go ahead and listen to stuff. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm just texting Larambe just to make sure he knows that there was an error on the date thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I also sent him a text too. So.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah.
And real quick, when you say free, like anyone out there who thinks that there's not help, you're wrong. Like again, you've got this. If you Google Maat Hotep Hangout and go look at those Google Hangouts, I have songwriters on there, producers, engineers. They're spending 4 to 5 hours. There's an 8 hour, 2 8 hour hangouts that we had. One was Dr. Dre's guy, and one was a producer out of New York. Like industry vets giving their time. I bring them on. You get to ask them questions as much as you want. You've got this Kulaks. You had told me like Kulaks charges what, $10 or something?
$20 on a Monday night to get
20 bucks. Like there's help out there. When we would throw this, we would throw our songwriting events. It would be 2 12-hour days in the studio. We weren't charging artists, and we would bring our industry friends in, like Grammy winners, all kinds of stuff in. And instead of them being on panels, they'd come and create songs. You create songs together. 2 days. So if you think there's not help out there, or that we're all some mean, evil people, no, no, not at all. I say that because I did think when I came in, I thought I was going to have to go to war against music people, and it's been fun. I was surprised. I was ready for battle, and everybody's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know.
And also you got to pick your battles too, because like Marcelo, you were mentioning that you do musical comedy and things every now and then. Well, there is a place for that. It's just that it's a very small place, but when you find that place and you find your audience, it's a huge, very, very solid and very secure niche market. One of my very good friends does a lot of that, and he's a regular at Kulaks. He volunteers there all the time, so it's pretty funny. And I've written some stuff like that too. And of course, Pierre is the master of that. Pierre has been doing a lot of very interesting kind of comedic stuff, but also serious stuff too. But he's a great songwriter. A lot of people have
Thank you.
commented.
The comedy is not always intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, there's people. Some of our guest speakers have commented that he gets a little too wordy, but that's part of what he does. And even though you may get commentary that doesn't feel good, the reality is that I think one of my very good friends mentioned that I think it's a Groucho Marx quote: "If one person says you're a horse, they're nuts. If 3 people say you're a horse, buy a saddle." So remember that. Okay. So Steve, let's go ahead and kick it off. Who we got first?
Let's do Pierre Engelbert. I don't have Pierre. You didn't send a lyric sheet in, but
No, it's an
maybe.
instrumental,
Oh,
and I just
okay,
finished
very
it
good.
today. It's like a movie music thing I was trying. So it's
Okay.
kind of in classic. I hope it's okay. It's kind of it's just piano and cello and some strings, and I was trying something a little bit different.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me.
what are you looking for as we listen? What are you looking for from us?
So thank you. So I just finished it today, and it's about 2 minutes and a half, and it's not a typical song. It doesn't have like verse and chorus. There's an A part, there's a B part in the middle, and then the A repeats with a different instrumentation. I'm just wondering whether this is kind of worth pursuing in terms of sync options, whether this would be okay, how to make it better to get some interest in terms of accompanying some either TV or movie kind of stuff. It's a new thing for me. I don't know. But
Okay,
essentially, any kind of feedback, whether it's reasonable, how to tweak it, how to improve it. And at this point, it's just the MIDI, it's just the Rico. I wrote it, and then I'm working on performing it myself. But I was struggling with Logic. The strings were not coming right. So the one I submitted is the MIDI version. It's not particularly smooth delivery, but it's the composition itself.
does anybody here know about sync?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because I was about to say, so Pierre, I don't know anything about sync. I can tell you, there's stuff I can say I like, whatever. But if you ask specifically about sync, I have to submit to the sync guys.
Come on,
Okay.
Matt. You've been at how many of these seminars and workshops?
Yes, yes. But the with sync, there's a particular thing that they're looking for, and like you said, you had that guest coming on you next week. You said, yeah,
Next month, yeah, January
oh,
8th.
next month, yeah. Like I wouldn't dare act like I'm a professional sync guy.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
looking for a
there's stuff.
placement, but just
Yeah,
feedback on like, is this the kind of right way to write this kind of stuff? Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay, well, let me do my share
Thank you.
screen so you can hear the song. And let's see, we will play it.
That was beautiful,
Thank you.
bro.
You
That
see,
was
it says,
nice.
thank you. It says final project. I'm taking this composition theory class with Berkeley College online. And so that originally I wrote it for the final project for the semester. But I'm like, I'd like to see if it can get any kind of interest. So
I have a question for you. Have you ever played your stuff while a video was playing? Like you turn the
oh
television on, mute it, press play to your music. Have you ever done that?
no, but I've had some assignments when we had to score some short video thing. So not for this song, but I did that for some other pieces. Usually 1 minute, small short stuff. Yeah. But limited experience.
Pierre, did
Okay,
you
is that
play?
my internet?
Yes.
Yep, my internet's unstable.
Pierre, I'm
Yep,
curious.
my internet's messing up.
Uh oh. Oh no, I was going to ask him.
No,
Did you
what'd you
actually
say, Stefan?
did he play the instruments, or was that from a written sheet music and then you used instruments electronically?
So I have a version where I play the piano and I do the cello on the keyboard also. But then when I tried to do the staccato on the violins, it wasn't coming out okay. So I submitted just the MIDI version, the one I send you. I'm not playing it, just I wrote it and then Dorico is playing it. Yeah.
Really composing. That what I listened to put me in a mood. I was picturing the Highlander. There's a series called Outlander. What's it called? Outlander. I don't know if you guys have seen it on TV. There's the Highlander was the movie, There's a show called Outlander, and it's the same type of thing ish. No, he goes back in time. Yeah, a woman goes back in time and finds her husband, whatever. But it's that type of era. And while it was playing, I'm having this video run in my head of that stuff, and it fit. What that did for me was it put me in a mood. There was nothing for me that distracted me. Composer guys, they have a whole different ear. Like guys who do what you do, there's stuff you might do that might drive them crazy. I have no idea. Me as one of the non-composing types, I'm sitting here and it put me in a mood. I could see the Outlander series, which is like Highlander, and then I just wondered. We were playing songs and it was time to do a video, and we did a video shoot, a real expensive video shoot, and the comment one of the guys said was, y'all might want to take those pictures, and when you play the video and set the pictures up and go through the pictures. And when I did, every time, every picture with the video was a whole different, it was weird how much the picture affected the actual song being played. And if you're going to compose for film or whatever, I would suggest watching something and composing for it, and then you have that feeling. That's one of the things I would suggest, like what you said they had you do at school. But then if you have a feeling, you do the feel. You might want to make sure you label it that it's something that lets people know that it is that feel, so that like if they're looking for dark and gloomy, they get dark and gloomy. But yeah, to me, you sounded good.
Well, thank you. I'll take that. Yeah, I don't have a lot of practice following a script, so we did very short things. So I kind of write in my own head, and so it might not really match more than a little bit. So it's a good suggestion to try to write following a video prompt, right? Yeah.
And when you have stuff in a movie scene, they want to pay attention to the movie and they don't want to be distracted. That didn't distract me. Like there's stuff we'll do in songs that will flat out like say a hit song comes on and you're supposed to be paying attention to the scene, and a hit song comes on that's jamming and people start paying attention to the hit song, but you want them paying attention to what's being said on the screen. Not good. So there's that. Like yours didn't distract me at all. It set the mood. I could actually do some candlelight dinner with your music.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the suggestions. Thank you.
Okay. Well, next up we'll have Marcella, and this is called "Obsessed." Pierre's by, what was the title of yours? Pierre.
You're muted, Pierre.
Sorry, I put film music. I don't have a title yet.
Oh yeah. That's what I got. I have film music here, but I thought maybe I'm missing something. Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't know yet. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me.
Marcella, do you have the lyrics? Did we get that or no?
I do have her lyrics. Yes.
Okay.
And let's see. For some reason, okay. Get rid of this. I have to set this up first, and then I'll share.
While he's setting that up, Marcella, while he's doing that, would you tell us a little bit about the song?
Yeah, it's a goofy song that I wrote. It doesn't have a goofy tone or sound. It has a more of a dramatic sound to it, but it's about a girl who thinks she has a crush on someone, her favorite guitar player, and she ends up abducting him and putting him on a train and forcing him to play her favorite songs. So that's what it's about, but it's moody. So I tried to make it more of like a serious sounding kind of tone, but it's not. It's just super for fun. Yeah, I don't know. In terms of what I want, I think I've never gotten feedback for my songs, and it's kind of like what you guys were talking about with musicians looking for help, and everything's expensive or far away, and so that's where I'm at. And I have the equipment geared to make something sound really great, but I just don't have the guidance. So just looking for overall.
And is this for you to perform, or are you writing it for somebody else to perform?
This is for me, my fun song. Yeah.
And I ask because you can have stuff in plays and all kinds of stuff. Like you might write a song like that, and it go to a play where somebody write a play and include that in the play. Just a suggestion, but
Okay.
okay.
Okay, let's listen. Here we go.
Got no money, but I own all your music. And I love it when you play your songs acoustic. Shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna admit it. Name this guitar after you, and my password's too. My friends all say I'm obsessed with you, and that ain't true. I'm just a girl with a crush on you. My friends all say I'm obsessed with you, and that ain't true. I'm just a girl with a crush on you. Crush on you. Stole a t-shirt soaked in your sweat. Got a tattoo of your Montana address. On Facebook, our engagement got banned. But if you ask, I would have consensual sex. My friends all say I'm obsessed with you, and that ain't true. I'm just a girl with a crush on you. My friends all say I'm obsessed with you, and that ain't true. I'm just a girl with a crush on you. Crush on you. Okay, baby, maybe I just might be kinda crazy. Oh, your loving, oh, your playing. Just let me have your baby. If I remove these restraints from your hands and from your face, don't try to run away. I promise you won't run away. Is this too late to stop this train? Well, my friends all say I'm obsessed with you, and that ain't true. I'm just a girl with a crush on you. My friends all say I'm obsessed with you, and that ain't true. I'm just a girl with a crush on you. Crush on you.
You know what, Marcella? I'm glad you came on here. Good job.
Thank you.
A lot of times when people write songs, they we get into this thing of people telling us what songs have to be, and the artist, the real who a person is, and their real creativity ends up gone because they're trying to satisfy something. That was an artist. Like when you were going through doing that, I'm sitting here picturing this stuff. I'll give you an example. Kenny Rogers, Yellow. What's the song? Yellow, where he says, I'm not. Everybody thought he was yellow. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Kenny Rogers. You guys don't know Kenny Rogers.
Oh, I know Kenny Rogers, but I don't know that song.
Oh, that song.
Kenny Rogers has a song, and he's a great storyteller. But he's going through and he's saying, this guy's father, a coward of the county, coward of the county. My bad, coward of the county, right? Have you ever heard that song, Marcella?
Haven't, no.
Write that down. Like, coward of the county, write that down. Listen to that when you get off of this, and then think about your song. That song is a story. I play that when I'm training people out. That's one of the songs I'll play for people to show them, hey, you don't have to just do whatever's on the radio or whatever. Some of this stuff should be to where I can go listen, be entertained, it take me somewhere. You sounded to me like a crazy woman. You sounded like a crazy woman. And that bridge where you had them kidnapped, tied up, whatever you did to them, that's some funny stuff that I would do. Like I have a song where it starts out where the guy's cheating on the girl and she's like, oh, that's not Mike's house. That's not on Dorothy. Yeah, that's not Mike's house. And he went to some lady's house and he was giving this lady, the singer's man was giving somebody else her favorite flowers. Like if you have your favorite flowers, you watch your guy go to some woman's house and give another woman your favorite flowers and then kiss the person and go in. And like, it starts off like that. It's a story. And that's exactly what this is. If are you looking to pursue songwriting?
I'm interested in anything. I mean, I love perform. At the end of the day, I think passion is performing. That's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm open to anything.
Well, yeah, if you're performing and you write your own songs and you can get the full production, like the production on your song, you get with people who, and help produce whatever, make it to come to light, fruition, as far as the production. But your concept on this song is spot on, like with something that's entertaining. Like imagine yourself going out to somebody's doing the poetry stuff. You get up there, you do your song, you pick somebody out in the audience and say, hey, I like you. And then you start singing to them and let them know this is how I do my men. I kidnap them and like you can mess the whole crowd up with this song. You flat out can mess the whole crowd up with this song. So what all did you want to learn out of this? Because we can say a whole bunch of stuff. So what all do you actually want to get out of this?
I mean, yeah, I've never had anyone with your skill set listen to my music. So it's just kind of like, I think I wanted to know what sounded well for you, which you just told me what sounded in your opinion, and what could be improved on. And if you have any opinions on performance and lyrics, that could be helpful as well.
Okay, so on your performance, I talked so much crap about what's the guy? Not John Denver. The guy who cannot sing, but everybody says can sing, but cannot sing. We all argue, and he's one of the greatest songwriters ever. And he talked
Bob Dylan.
Thank you. I talked so much crap about Bob Dylan for years, and people were taking Bob's songs. Like he might say he wrote a 12-minute song. Somebody might take it and condense it down to a 2-minute whatever song, and you'd be like, "Oh, that's brilliant! How'd they come up with the lyrics?" And you find out it was Bob Dylan, and he had this long song. And I'd go back and listen to Bob Dylan. He wasn't singing like Whitney, and it's not always that. What you could work on mastering, like not all of us are going to sing like Whitney, but what we can master is getting emotionally connected and not worrying about how we sound and making the feeling come across. And like that's one of the things, like when we get together, we train on. Because at first I was looking for everybody to be like Whitney, and I'm judging everybody like that. And my favorite all-time singer is Billie Holiday. And somebody's like, hold on, man, she's pitchy and she's this and that. And I had no idea she was pitchy. I never knew. I feel her. And if you, like, that's something for you to get into. You can go and take singing lessons and all that, but you'd be missing out big time if you didn't get with people who helped you develop, or you go down that path of developing what Bob Denver had, authenticity, and you sing stuff to where it's from an emotional feel. Example, okay, this is, some of my job is cold-blooded. This lady comes in, she writes a song, and I tell people, be careful what you write when you get with me. She writes a song and it's about she had lost a child and she wrote a song about it. She came in the studio and she's singing about it. You got to be careful with me when you do that, because if you start singing that song and it's not authentic, now I got to get you in that mind state. And I started asking her, she's on the microphone and we had this thing. And when I say sing, just sing. The music will be playing. I'll talk to you, whatever. We'll have this conversation. And when I say sing, I'm going to press play again, hit record, and you sing. And I started asking her about her baby daughter that she had lost. Can you imagine her being on this microphone? She said she wanted to do a song. I wrote this song about my child. I want it to be good, authentic. I didn't give her singing lessons. When she started swelling up with that emotion and couldn't really talk and whatever and whatever, I said sing. She started singing and she worked her way through it. I had a conversation with her again. The whole room was sitting there looking at me like, man, you are a cold piece. And then I said sing again. And so instead of her focusing on what her pitch was on, it's like when you're at a funeral and your auntie's son is in the casket and she's talking, she's going off pitch, whatever she's doing, nobody cares about any of that. They're into the moment. I had her into the moment, and I had several takes where she's singing and it just, everybody was feeling it. There is no, hey, your timing was bad. We can fix timing. What we can't fix is the emotion. I got her deep off into that emotion and she was singing and we captured. And then she's like, yeah, nobody can hear this. She's like, nobody can hear this. Because when I pressed play, when I went and took the takes or whatever and gave her a mix of that, and you press play, like she played it for her husband or whatever, he's over there crying because you can feel, like you walk by somebody, you walk by a door and somebody's arguing and you get a sneak peek and like you're hearing something you shouldn't be hearing, that feeling. And then you see something and it's a real thing, that capturing that real stuff. And with lyrics like this, and you make it to where we understand what you're saying and you get into the emotion, yeah, you can mess some people up. But if we don't know what you're saying, the emotion will mess with us, right? Your emotional stuff. But then if we don't know what you're saying, it won't penetrate us as much because we'll be missing out on some of the stuff you're saying. But then emotion, you can say stuff with emotion and music. Like if you go listen to Teddy Pendergrass, say when he says, turn off the lights, shut the door, you go and listen to the music behind him. Those arrangers, like you might say, hey baby, how you doing? And then something goes, they're messing with you. They're doing stuff musically, call and response with you, whatever, in the background doing stuff to affect you. You could do that in these productions. And anything that somebody would complain about, there'd be so much stuff coming at them, impacting them, there'd be nothing to complain about. They just would press play and be like, wow. And then when you do something new, it's hard to compare. It's hard to judge some things that are new. Example, when rock, metal had this, rock. We had this thing where you had to have was an SM57 on a snare, like whatever it was an exact everything. It got stale. Everything had to be a certain way. That's death. When you come up with something new, it's harder to judge. People just have to like it or not like it. So those are my comments on you. If I were you, I would dive deep into songcraft, dive deep into songwriting, because you've got something. Anybody else?
Yeah, one comment I always think of when I hear a vocal like this is that if you look at a lot of Grammy winners, very often one of the things that you hear is a unique vocal style. And so I always think of a vocal style as like a font. It's all the alphabet. But as long as it's internally consistent, it works. Bob Dylan is internally consistent, and it works. Even though he's obviously not a great singer, like in a classical sense. But, as long as your unique singing voice is consistent internally, it'll work.
I'm on to be in a conversation with Bob Dylan.
Do you have any questions? Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, the only thing that I would suggest too is also read the lyrics as a story to make sure that you have some kind of a story continuity. For myself, I was because you introduced the song the way that you did, I was able to follow it. But if I hadn't heard that, then I would have been lost. Like, oh, how come all of a sudden she's got this guy here? What's going on? So if what part of your lyric, includes something like, so when I met you at the 7-Eleven, threw you in the trunk of my car, then go into the other part of it, it makes more sense because now we know, oh, she's kidnapped this guy. Instead of, well, yeah, he's tied up and all that. Why is he tied up? How did that happen?
Some sort of
So
setup. Okay, thank you. That's good. That's helpful.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was thinking exact same thing. It's like because you told us the story, we could make the connection. But yeah, okay.
Thank
yeah.
you.
And it's funny too because many years ago I was actually doing musical comedy parodies with this one girl. If you look on YouTube, you can find P.S. Pauline. I think that's her channel, P.S. Pauline. And we did. I wrote 19 parodies with her, and the reason why I got working with her is because I wrote a parody for "Let It Be" that could only be sung by a female vocalist because it was about that time of the month. So anyway,
Oh,
you know,
gotcha.
yeah, and no other artist would sing it, so she sang it. She's a comedian, and what's funny is that also she doesn't sound like Whitney. Obviously, she's like way out there sometimes, but it made it work because she had the emotion, and because she wasn't perfect, it added to the hilarity of the whole thing. So it was a very very good thing. So if you ever see that, yeah, let it bleed. You'll see it in there.
But
Anyway, Steve, who we got next?
Got one of mine, and then after that we have two more. We'll have Larambe's. We might as well go ahead and play that, even though he may not be here. And there's another one from Papa Satch that we could play. But as of people here, I'm the only one that's.
Well, Larry's here. Didn't he submit something? No.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
Wait a
did.
minute. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I do have it here. Okay, I skipped it over. I missed it because I guess there's no lyric with it or something. Okay.
Right, it's instrumental.
Instrumental, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Larry's then. And this is
If
called Lark Happy. And we'll get rid of my lyrics and share my screen.
real quick, if anybody wants to see storytelling songs, again, look up Kenny Rogers, a Gambler, Slick Rick, Children's Stories, Slick Rick, Children's Story, and a song called "Wait in the Truck" by Hardy. That song, "Wait in the Truck" by Hardy.
Okay. All right. So this is Larry Russo, Lark Happy. Okay.
Question for you, Larry. What
Yes.
Tell me how you made that.
Well, I made it from a brief that was calling for something, an instrumental that's like light and happy, intended for sync. Acoustic instruments and mallets.
You played all that?
Well, I programmed some of it. Yeah, I played all the guitars, and yeah, sure. The mallets, I played through the piano, through a keyboard. The percussion stuff, the congas, I played the congas. So I think the only thing that was really MIDI was um, the mallets, the xylophone type sounding stuff. The rest of it I played live.
And what did you want to learn from it or gain from this?
Oh well, I mean, how is it developed? I mean, is it developed in a way that is usable for sync to TV or film or whatever? That kind of thing.
Well,
Like that creates that kind of a mood, light, happy.
it absolutely does create a mood. When I heard it, what I saw was like a car commercial, bro. Like you know how like young kids are in a car commercial,
Yeah.
say going to the beach or something, or out just having fun, like just sort of free, happy
Yeah.
beach type thing. Like I was thinking you were gonna say something about you wanted to get with a songwriter, and who would you get with it to write a song? Once you said it was a brief, I'm like, well, duh, yeah, it is a brief. Like it literally sounds like something for a commercial.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you're asking, does it fit sync? Does it block? I mean, bro, to me, I saw a commercial when it was playing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, like I literally saw a commercial in my head
Yeah.
when it was playing,
Well, good. That's the idea.
and that's that's it for me. I saw a commercial. I didn't hear a commercial, just hear. I saw a commercial in my head. So
I mean, what is it? Is any parts of it like detract or stand out, obtrusive in any way that might?
No.
No. No. Okay.
no, not for me, no.
Okay.
But you have to remember now.
Yeah.
Again, you've got musical nerds. You and I, or whoever, we will be sitting there enjoying stuff. I'm telling you, bro. There's this guy mixed a song that I use as a reference, and he's complaining about what I'm using, the exact stuff that I'm using as a reference that I love. You know, I came there for him to tell me how he did this, and he's first thing out of his mouth, "Oh, on this song, I'm like, are you kidding me?" And I started talking smack to him. He's a friend of mine. He's an industry cat, but I started talking smack to him in front of everybody. Like, man, you are crazy. You have lost your mind, because it was enjoyable. And there was nothing in there that distracted me. I saw a commercial like kids in a Jeep or something going to the beach, having fun, whimsical. I can see them going shopping and getting their beach stuff or whatever, or in the mall grabbing stuff. That's what I saw, bro.
Okay.
So when you said brief, I was like, well, duh.
Okay. Good.
So anybody else? You did your job. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing I have there is, do you know Snuff Walden? Snuffy?
Duffy?
Snuffy Walden.
Snuffy? No, I don't think so.
Look up Snuffy Walden.
Okay. Snuffy at SNUFFY.
Yeah, Snuffy Walden, or Snuff Walden. I'm pretty sure it's FFY. He did the theme song for 30 something. And he, because of that one show and because of its popularity, basically he took that whole acoustic guitar thing to the next level and made it a huge thing, and he was able to retire off of just that stuff that he did.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, so Snuffy Walden, when you hear it, you're going to go, hey, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Because really, it is almost exactly what you just put out there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and also, for me anyway, the percussion was a little bit distracting because I
Okay.
love the way the guitar sounds. You know,
Okay.
your guitar sounds are great and everything else, but that doing, it kind of sounded like water dropping almost.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. Thank you.
But other than that, yeah. But look up Snuffy Walden for sure. Yeah, Pierre had a question or something.
Yeah, no, to follow up on Jimmy's point, I think that the mix was the percussion was out in the mix. I think if you find a way to put it behind the guitar instead of in front, it might work out better. But I also
Percussion.
had that impression that something was slightly off there. Yeah.
Okay, and the percussion. All right.
That's really bizarre. I just had to restart Zoom. I literally shut it down and restarted it, and it's still going.
That's
Bizarre.
very strange. Yeah.
It's very strange. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we're all still here.
Yeah, exactly. I thought everybody's going to have to re-sign in again and all that. Yeah,
Okay. Well, if that happens, we'll know.
yeah, definitely. Any
But,
other questions on this one? Yeah.
Well, Pierre and Larry, have you guys heard? Do you guys have Robin Frederick's books on sync? No,
No, Robin Fredericks.
Robin Frederick,
All right.
Robin Robin, Robin. And they're not expensive, but she's on point. And she comes a taxi and does a lot of talking, explaining. I've had her on as a guest twice. She's on it. She's real good.
Yeah,
And
I've
like,
seen her. I've seen her lecture many times. I don't have her books yet, but I have some of the other books they recommend, like "Hey, That's My Song," and oh, it's not showing up. Okay. Ah. All right. Anyway, it's called "Hey, That's My Song" by Tracy Marino and Vance Marino, and then I also have.
I think we're going to have them on in April, by the way. So.
Ah, all right, cool. Yeah, and then also the book by Steve Barden, music for production, or production music for film and TV. Yeah, that's a very good book. Yeah, and I use the Bobby Alsinski's mixing book. You know, the mixing engineer's handbook and his mastering engineer handbook. So.
okay.
All right. So next up, this is mine. It's called "Want to Be Loved," and let me bring up the share and everything.
Stephen, this is yours.
Yes, correct. And my target always with these is sync. See if I can place it in a movie somewhere or the soundtrack in the movie somewhere. So this is a song about people who take risks. So like all of us songwriters, we take risks and other people as well. And so it's kind of like why do we do all this? That's what this is about. All right, here we go.
Does
Not
anybody
hearing you,
hear
Steve.
anything?
Not hearing
Yeah.
you, Steve.
Okay.
Got to do the share audio thing again, I think.
Hold on.
Yep, got to do the share audio thing again.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's because I had to re-sign in again. All right. Let me. Okay, there it goes. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go.
Do it because we want to be loved. We do what we do. We do it because we want to be loved. We do it because we want to be loved. We do what we do. We do it because we want to be loved. Looking down at your phone. Are you gonna make that call? 'Cause she hit you like a bolt of lightning. Are you gonna risk that fall? because we want to be loved. Are you gonna get on that stage? Are you gonna say that line? 'Cause that applause was the bolt of lightning that caused your soul to shine. Do it because we want to be loved. We do what we do, what we do. We do it because we want to be loved. Do it because we want to be loved. We do what we do, what we do. We do it because we want to be loved. Stepping out on that tightrope, swaying left and right. Keep your eyes straight ahead, and soon you'll see the light. Do it because we want to be loved. We do what we do, what we do. We do it because we want to be loved. We do it because we want to be loved. We do what we do, what we do. We do it because we want to be loved.
Thank you.
All right, talk to me about this song, bro.
Interestingly, this was inspired by one of the very first times I ever tried to pitch a song. I was living in the Bay Area, and there was this guy there. He was a songwriter, and um, he wrote the song "Scarlet Ribbons," if you can remember that one from a million years ago. And he was talking to the audience. He was a sort of older Jewish fellow, and he said, "Yeah, we know the only reason we do all this is we just want to be loved, right? Don't we?" And everybody's kind of nodding their head. And I thought, well, that's kind of an interesting perspective. So that was what inspired it. And then, again, when I first started, I played in bands, and in bands, it's really easy to hide, let's say. But when you're playing as a singer songwriter, just yourself playing guitar and singing, you're really vulnerable. You know, you're really taking a risk. You're sticking your neck out, and you're bearing your soul because you've written this song. And so I was just reminded of all that and thinking, songwriters are really these brave people, and to be vulnerable like that. And so that was kind of the genesis of it in terms of what to do with it and trying to place it in a film or TV. And I think it's general enough that it could go somewhere. Sometimes when the lyrics are too specific, it's hard to place it. But
So when you wrote this, you absolutely wrote this for sync.
not necessarily. I wrote it just because it of the situation it reminded me of. The sync was really afterwards, to be honest. Yeah,
Got you. Okay.
yeah. I wrote it for me. Yeah, yeah,
Was that you singing?
yes.
And were you wanting like this right here? Is this for you to sing, or would this be for somebody else to sing?
Well, if somebody wanted to license it, sure, absolutely, that would be great.
You're not averse to taking money, getting money, huh?
That's right. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm beyond my years of touring, 300 days a year, so, so whichever avenue I can take. I mean, I think what is it? Yesterday has been covered, what, 3,000 times or something like that by different artists. So, it's certainly nothing wrong in having people cover a song for you. So I would pitch it either to an artist or for film and TV placement. And of course I play open mics and I play live, but I don't tour, at this point. Yeah. So,
For sync, when I was listening to it, what I got was like if you play the song and you listen, what pops in my head is time, like it's a timepiece,
okay.
like there's a certain like say somebody does a film and they need a certain feel and timepiece. I don't what anybody does anybody know what time frame that music is? Like there's a certain feel there that is from
You mean
my past.
an era, a certain era?
There's a
Is from,
Yeah,
70s,
yeah.
80s rock there. Yeah.
70s, 80s. Okay.
That's what I felt like. That's why I like it so much. It's my
Yeah,
generation.
he did good on the production and stuff, didn't he?
It's very
Like
well produced. The harmonies are great. It has a vibe. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like if they had some movie like that going on and they needed and okay, so you know that some of the people who when they have this stuff that's temporarily in for the movie, you know some of the asking prices that the publishing people they're asking for way too much
right,
according
right.
to the budgets, and that music will probably fit something
Yeah, if it's more like a period piece or something like that, you could say if it was a
yeah.
movie that took place, like you said, in the 80s or wherever, or 70s even, it would fit in. If it
Even
were today, where everybody's listening to hip hop a lot, it wouldn't fit probably as well. It depends on the movie.
well, okay, watch this. So Stephen, here's how it would fit. So you and I make a movie,
Yeah.
and you start talking about, boy, back when I was 17,
Yeah.
that
Right.
a memory.
Yeah.
Or like there are scenes where people come in and grandpa or whoever is jamming his music. Say the hip hop guys are over here, and then grandpa comes in with his radio and he's bumping his music.
Yeah.
There's all types of uses for it. So it's some of it is like we'll sit and you might make some music that's exactly what they say they want, and then when you hear what they've chosen, you'll be sitting there like, you've got to be kidding me, that is not what you said. And the reason is when they play that thing next to the movie, what happens, or to the scene, what happens. And then when they're editing these films, stuff changes.
Yeah.
They're like, and so would this fit into something? Yes. What these guys have to put their hats on on whatever movie and make that work. And I'm telling you, the stuff that we'll sit up and say is a hell no will end up being the thing that's used if that's what makes that scene work for whatever. Can we see the lyrics?
Oh, sure. See, let me share my screen again. Go. See if I gotta find it. Gotta find the window here.
But it's always been funny to me when we say something won't work, like we'll say something won't work and that'll be the thing that actually catches on.
All right, here we go.
Like when the electric guitars came in and people were like, "Ah, no, this is garbage," and that took over the industry.
Yeah.
You know, you just people are people, but when you get into these movies, it's like I said, it's just got to work with the scene.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Which part of the lyric did you want to look at?
Let's go the very first beginning first. We're just gonna take it from the top. Okay, so when we're doing pop, when I'm working with people on pop songs, this is I'm gonna do a run through on the mentality or what some stuff that runs through my head. I look at the chorus as like when comedians are telling a joke. For me, the chorus is the punchline.
Right. Yeah.
And so that because people would say, does the chorus pay off? I never understood that until I saw it as the punchline to a joke. So you might say a whole bunch of stuff and then that adds up to the chorus. And that's what helped, one of the things that helped me see how a chorus could pay off. We do it because we want to be loved. We do what we do, and then we do it because we want to be loved. Okay, so we do it because we want to be loved. Looking down at your phone, are you going to make that call? Because she hit you like a bolt of lightning. Are you going to risk the fall? And then, I'm sitting there thinking that the chorus was that's verse 2. Okay, are you going to make that fall? We do it. So that transition right there. You know about transitional phrases, right? Like you write a phrase that works into the chorus.
Oh, you mean like a pre-chorus?
Okay, wait. So the chorus is going to
Well,
be
this song is unusual because it starts with a chorus. Most of my
yes.
songs don't do that. Yeah, right.
So it goes, cause she hit you like a bolt of lightning, and or are you going to risk it all?
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you say what? We do it because we want to be loved. That jars me right there. Are you going to
Okay.
make that fall? We do it because we want to be loved. There's something about that that's jarring to where it makes me feel like there should be a something there that makes it to where it doesn't jar. Do you know what I mean?
Like a transition of some kind.
A transitional phrase, like the
Okay.
wording to
Okay.
where the word, like
Yeah, it's like, but I got to do it anyway, or something. Yeah.
yeah, it could be. Let's say we do it. Are you going to risk it? Are you going to risk that fall? If so, like say this isn't going to work yet, but if so, I would do it because I want to be loved. You know where the sentence is complete, that type of
Okay.
thing. That it throws me off right there. Not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying there's something where the wording after are you going to risk that fall? Something we do to where the wording
Okay.
works. It could be an extra line, something where it makes it to where it goes into we do it because we want to be loved. Do
Gotcha.
you have any
Okay.
ideas on what could be done right there?
Um,
Your phone, are you gonna make
I'd
a
have
call?
to I'd have to think about what kind of lift or transition would be in between there. So, I mean, what I'm thinking of is just a couple of notes like bum bum bum, something like that, where you're kind of rising up to the chorus a bit.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Looking down at your phone, like you're rhyming, right? You're rhyming everything.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to rhyme everything. I'm just
Yeah.
going to
Sure.
make a point.
Yeah.
So looking down at your phone, are you going to make that call? Are you going to risk that fall? When we do it because we want to be loved.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
type of way where you work a transitional phrase
Okay.
would make it be to where
It's
it
more.
goes
It's
right
smoother.
into it and pay.
Yeah.
Well,
Smoother.
it pays off. It
Okay.
like
I see what you mean. Yeah.
you see what I mean? Because when we do it because we want to be loved. It actually the when we're sitting there listening to what you're saying, it plays on like a sentence,
Yeah.
like an actual
Okay.
sentence.
Right.
Because you might have gotten here and simply wanted to make sure you were rhyming.
Mm-hmm.
You might have done that, and what you don't actually have to rhyme all the time. And the
Right.
killer
Yeah.
part if you go like a lot of us will go when we start looking at lyrics of songs, we'd be like, hold on, these are three whole lines and nothing's rhyming, but we never caught that they weren't rhyming.
Right.
And
Because it just works. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the content of what they're saying in the performance. So even when I say, so watch this, the rhyme goes, looking down at your phone, are you going to make that call? Are you willing to risk that fall? See, there's a rhyme like in rap, boom, boom.
Yeah. Right.
Looking down at your phone, are you going to make that call? Are you going to risk that fall? When we do it because we want to be loved.
Okay. I see what you
See,
mean. Yeah.
and that actually works, and it's still saying what you want. I eliminated because she hit you like a bolt of lightning,
Okay.
but you get what I did right there.
Yeah. I know. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Slightly
That
different
so
style. Yeah. Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Now remember though, the only thing is when we write these songs, I'll come and I'll say this, right? Everybody will do this thing and have their songs. You'll come along with some jarring stuff that takes off, and then everybody's following that. He's a
Yeah.
genius. That's
Yeah.
the crazy part about songwriting.
That's true.
It really comes down to how the people are affected. And after eating like the same gourmet meal for a year straight, it really does. Humans need change.
Right.
It's like when I went on to the USS Enterprise, everybody was complaining about their hamburgers and I forget what else, the food they were complaining. I was like, oh, y'all are crazy. This is good.
Yeah.
6 months into that cruise,
Yeah.
those same hamburgers were like rocks. They were. It was the same, exact same, but my stomach, I couldn't. We were putting ketchup, what's this here sauce, anything we could get to try to make this thing edible, and it's the same thing. And then I watch somebody new come on. Man, we eating good out here. People need something new. So just always remember, whatever we say, if an audience is loving it and moving to it, if that jar gets them, but that's what stuck out to me right there is that,
Okay.
and yeah, but does it work for sync? Yes. And
Okay.
that type of thing is a transitional phrase type thing.
Sounds good. We have a couple more. We have one by Larambe. And
Oh, and by the way, good job.
oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Appreciate the feedback. Always. Let's see. So this one is here. Sorry, I got to get back to my right file here. This is called All I Want. And let me cue it up and everything. And he has a great voice.
All I want is to love somebody. All I need is someone to love me. All I want is to love somebody who loves me completely, touch me so deeply. Now there are those who seek fortune and fame, and I wouldn't turn it down if by chance it came. But is it worth the price to have it and be all alone? All the riches in the world can never measure up to a happy home. All I want is to love somebody, somebody. All I need is someone to love me. All I want is to love somebody who loves me completely, touch me so deeply. If a genie came and granted me one wish, my answer would take a fraction of a second. 'Cause my response would be automatic. I'd be rubbing that lamp so hard. Please, genie, come work your magic. All I want is to love somebody, somebody. That's all I need is someone to love me. All I want is to love somebody, somebody who loves me completely and be with me through eternity.
Ain't gotta be no supermodel, but she's gotta be super to me.
Yeah,
Don't care how many friends that follow.
that don't mean nothing to me. What I care about is our connection, that our hearts and our minds are aligned.
Just wanna be someone.
And they can be all mine. Yeah, all I want is to love somebody, somebody. That's all I want. That's all I need. Am I asking for too much? Someone to be there, give me tender love and care. Wanna be madly in love. Someone to love me unconditionally. All I want is to love somebody. That's all I want. All I need. All I want
Yep, Larambe got it down. He can sing.
Oh, yeah.
And he has that the old school production understanding, all of that, the singing. He comes from that camp. I met him years ago at Taxi, and every year when I go to Taxi, I see him. I have no idea what he would want to achieve out of this, and I'm actually careful when I say stuff because of what a person's goal is. If his goal was to make this up to date, like what we're doing today, rhythmically, the vocal grooves, what we do is we've advanced today with the groove of the vocal, the actual groove on pop stuff, pop. There's this rhythmic groove thing that old school did not have. Today, even if I didn't change any lyric that he had, if I went in on the verse and started working with it, grooving like da 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 da, like start working groove wise and playing with the groove, and even singing this two different grooves and like weaving in and out groove wise, getting a more rhythmic thing. This thing would automatically become sounding more up to date toward the day because he's laid back singing. Hey, I can sing. You know who I am? I'm back. I can sing, and he has the production down and everything. He's good. He's got it. But if he were to try to put that on with what people are doing today, it doesn't fit with that because the grooves today work with that ADHD stuff where people are like wanting to be fed. And this groove isn't doing that. It's doing the old school laid back, hey man, I got this. But today's rhythms and stuff come at you. That's the only thing that I would say without knowing what he actually would want the song to do. Like he might absolutely be trying to do the song. Like if I don't ask a question about what a person wants to do and I start making comments, you know that saying where they say everybody has that you know what I'm talking about, right? Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
It's that thing. But clearly he can sing. Clearly he knows about music production and all of that. I'd have to ask him, what is his goal?
Gotcha. Cool.
And
No,
since
that's
he's
very
probably
good.
going to watch the YouTube feed,
Yeah.
yeah, Larambe, man, I was supposed to play bass on that. Like, come on, you know.
Yeah, Larambe, meet me at Taxi next year, bruh. You got a problem? Meet me at Taxi next year. That's a cool dude.
Okay, well, this is the last one. This is a fellow named Papa Satch. And we should just go ahead with this one, right, Jimmy?
Is Papa Satch here?
He's unfortunately not, but it's recorded, so this is
Okay.
the last one, though. But we just go ahead, right, Jimmy?
Do we have lyrics?
We don't on this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Only,
All right.
only the, yeah, okay. So, last one, and let me share it real quick.
I never understood why we needed lyrics until I started working with artists and trying to help them with their songs, and they're like, you need it. That's it.
I have got to get to work this morning. I've gotta step up so I get to play my part. It is clear to me there's something here that's missing. Something missing from this day and how it starts. I just wanna say people on their way as they begin their day and get to work in the morning light. I am on my way, gotta keep my wheels a-rolling. Heading down the road as I'm trying to find my way. It is clear to me that most of us are falling as we find ourselves and live from day to day. I just wanna fine. Everyone's alone and stuck inside their mind. It is clear to see that we all need more time to get to reach for, to get to hope for, to get to reach for better life. As the rain falls down and blocks the view I'm seeing, as the wind knocks down the branches in my way, I arrive at work and every day I'm praying that the pay I make will get me through today. I just wanna say, people on their way, as they begin their day and get to work in the morning. I just wanna say, people on their way, as they begin their day and get to work in the morning. I just wanna say, people on their way, as they begin their day and get to work in the morning. Like, I just wanna say, people on their way, as they begin their day and get to work in the morning. Like,
This is Satch, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you, Satch has had songwriting training. It sounds like it sounds like he's had songcraft training. 'Cause I even got down to where I'm like, okay, the verses are A B A B, the chorus is A A A X, and got down to the bridge, which ended up being A A A, with some near rhymes and then a tricky rhyming thing at the end. This is a person who obviously, to me, unless this was absolute luck that just happened to, a lot of stuff ain't luck. This to me is a pop song. I don't know what you guys call it, pop rock, whatever. But this is the songcraft stuff where when I go and I'm learning songcraft, this has it all up in there. And the only thing I would question him on if he was here was on the bridge, making it more different. Like each section, making sure the sections are different, to keep us from boredom. I would ask him, well, number one, how does he feel about it? And then talk about that bridge to where we just got something where it's enough of a change to where when he comes back to the verse, it actually feels like we're coming back to something that we've gotten away from. Because the one thing, when you try to keep people from being bored is variation and repetition. But with the repetition, I never understood what motif meant back in the day. Like we had the motif keyboard. And once I started going down that path, it was like, you gotta be kidding me. There's all types of stuff people do where it's the same thing, but it's different so that you don't get bored with that same thing. So you can present something the same, but it's not the same. I had we did a song and the chorus, when it first starts on the one. I ended up, they did the chorus one time. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna cut and paste this chorus every time. I ended up, the next time the chorus came in, I had panned things in different directions. I changed the panning and I chopped stuff up to where instead of, hey baby, how you doing? It was like, hey, baby, how you doing? It started doing tricky stuff, and then it got into the chorus. The actual chorus ended up, instead of starting on the one, the regular part of the chorus ended up starting on the one and or the two. Things like that where there was a change, and each chorus was the same but different. But bottom line, when you want to do stuff, you have to figure out a way to do the same thing but make it to where it's different, whether it's production, whether it's your vocal performance, When I say vocal performance, like the first vocal might sound like you just woke up in the morning, might have that energy, and then as you go along, you come more alive. Whatever you do, simply trying to keep us interested. And all I can say to him is, bro, that's a good pop song to me. Like you did good. And there's all types of dressing we can do and whatever. Sometimes you don't want that. Like we had all this stuff that was glitz and glam, and then people were in their garages, and the guys in the garage took over so much that we came out with Garage Band, the program. You know, it's a good song. Anybody got comments on this one?
If you thought about it, you could actually take the Rembrandts, I'll Be There For You, and drop it right on top. And if you look at the lyrics, you'll realize the lyrics are very similar as well. It talks about just, starting your day and everything else. So when you look at those two things, you realize this could be a great replacement track for somebody that's doing a movie and needs that Rembrandt's tune, I'll Be There For You, for their movie. But of course, licensing that would be impossible because it's part of the Friends thing and all that. But this is so close that it could drop right in without even any modification whatsoever. That's my take on that.
Is it so close that he can get sued?
No, it's different enough where there's no way that he's going to get sued for that. But it is close enough where a lot of film guys that I know would say, well, it fits perfectly. The lyrics are almost exactly the same feel, as far as the concept of what he's talking about. The groove is very similar. The feel is about right. So let's drop that in instead of the Rembrandts. And boom.
You know what? It'd be funny if he comes on sometimes and says, "Hey guys, I there was a brief and the Rembrandts was in there and I had to replace it," because if he's that good, where he can do something to where you even catch that it was that, but it's different. Like that's a skill in itself to be able to do that with these songs when they give the briefs.
Yeah, and I used to do that all the time because one of the things that I used to do was bootlegs. Way back in the day before computers, pretty much. I was working with this one guy who would hear all the latest top 40 music before it was released, even, and we knew that it was going to be a hit, or we'd hear it in another place, and we would go into his studio and duplicate it exactly, and then sell it to these mostly Filipino bars, oddly enough, that because the Filipino community was really heavy into karaoke, and everybody wanted to get the first karaoke version of a hit song. So as a result, we would do these things, sometimes late at night, just crazy, and we would get paid ridiculous amounts of money, like $100 a cassette. Just because these guys wanted to be the first one at their karaoke bar to have this brand new hit song. And it was lucrative money, even though it was kind of on the edge of being legal. I mean, because it was a direct ripoff of the song, but at the same time, it was a complete re-record. So technically, it wasn't, using that song. So it was kind of a, shall we say?
So Jimmy is a hustler. Okay.
Oh boy, the truth comes out. Yeah.
Man, that's good stuff right there.
And of course, now this is going to be on YouTube, so people say, "Hey, who's that? What's going on here?"
There's okay. So like what you just said, you found a way to make money. There is money out there if you start thinking about people or clients. Like we were at NAMM and DaVinci Resolve came out, and everybody's like, "Matt, you got to check out DaVinci Resolve." Like, man, I use Premiere, Adobe Premiere. I'm cool. Then my Adobe Premiere, my computer quit working, didn't have Adobe Premiere. DaVinci was a free download. I downloaded it. This thing, it's set to do where you can do songs with it. I'm like, wait, what? So I'm messing with it. There's a funeral came up and they needed stuff for a video. I did a video for the family. That family was a friend, so it's free. I did a video for them, and next thing you know, so Suno came out, the AI stuff, right? I cannot sing. I sound like a wet, dead dog. So I started sitting there, okay, how can we make money? We're going to have it to where if I do a video for somebody's, say, a funeral, and they tell me about the person, like they give me their pictures and they tell me about the pictures and the people, I'll take the lyrics and make them match up to the pictures as they come across in the funeral. Mess everybody up. And that's what we're finna do and charge for that. Like there's ways that you can make money where you take care of clients. So you guys can write songs, like you've seen that stuff where somebody writes a song for some married couple, hopefully before the cheating or before they stop cheating or whatever, the good times. You look for places to where you can make money. Not everything's a radio. Not everything is whatever, whoever's saying whatever. Like find places where there's a use for what you do and you make some money at it. Like we're literally weddings. Like we have quinceañeras out here in California. Imagine a song being done for somebody's daughter, and the guy, like for quinceañeras, they pay a lot of money. And imagine you do a song. If you can't sing, you use AI to sing it for you, and it's specifically for that young lady's quinceañera, where her father's singing about how he loves his daughter or the whatever. Like that type of thing where you think commerce and you're not trying to do a billboard hit necessarily, you're doing commerce with people who can't do what you do, where you can do a service for them. Like he just said, $100 for that, and then he goes from person to person collecting $100 instead of $10 CDs. You're doing $100 a pop? Man, that's good stuff.
There you go.
Rick, why have you been so quiet? You know you are talented as hell, and you sitting over there in the cut
I'm
just
sitting,
chilling.
agreeing and listening and learning.
Yeah, we want to try to get you on. I think I had mentioned maybe April, so we'll see what happens there, Rick. But anyway, yeah, there's so many opportunities, and also with media these days, especially with the way computers are. If you're familiar with Robot Chicken, you guys familiar with Robot Chicken?
No. What is Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken is a really ridiculous thing. It became a huge cult thing because it's a bunch of videos, and the stories are hilarious. It's one of those things where it's comedy, but the way that they film it is like bad stop motion, and I mean really bad stop motion animation using Barbies and stuff. And then when the characters speak, they literally stick a piece of paper on them to make, it's the stupidest thing. Look for Robot Chicken, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the stories are there. So now it's obvious that they're using super low budget, probably using their phones to make these movies. And all of us also have the capacity to make music. So making music videos Robot Chicken style is very easy, very simple, and it can be done. So, I always tell people, don't wait for the movie. Make your own. A lot of guys are talking about sync all the time. I really want to get this in a movie. Well, which movie? I don't care. I just want to get it in a movie. Well, why don't you make your own damn movie? Because when you make your own movie, it's going to get in there, obviously. And not only that, but it will give you a better understanding and idea of where everything fits. One of the best productions I think I've ever done with a friend of mine, co-write, is The Biggest Failure, because we wrote the song and we were aiming it towards the superhero genre, movies. And it's completely wrong because it's not the kind of music that you would find in a superhero movie. So we're thinking about actually making a movie short based on that song now, so we can put it out there, and who knows, it might even change the way that some people look at superhero movies. So we'll see.
I was talking, so I'm talking to this lady at a donut shop, and she had no idea that she could have her own music. No idea that she could have her own music and own it. Or even if we use AI to create the music, it would be music that is hers that nobody's heard before, and she can have her words. So when you come into our shop or whatever she wants on her phone, that's a way for you to make money. When I did the funeral for free, next thing I know, people were coming up asking me to do their funerals for money. You know, it I did something for free for a friend. There's a big audience and an emotional audience. When you go to a quinceañera or a wedding, that's an emotional audience, and they're looking for moments. And as guys, we're lame on moments sometimes. Sometimes we don't know. And so if we could come up with, just imagine if you're a guy who's not good at coming up with moments, and somebody does a song for you and it comes out great, and everybody, I mean, you're a star, and come on. There's ways where you can get in and use your skills, to get paid, and you'll have happy clients.
It can be hard to collect on the money after they're dead, but still.
Yeah.
No, but really, actually, just this past weekend, I played at a funeral. 13 minutes, $150. Not bad.
What did you play?
I played one hymn and instrumental intro for the whole service. And I was supposed to play the outro too, but this one guy kept rambling stories on and on and on, so I didn't even get to play the outro. I just, that was it. So 13 minutes, $150. Yeah.
The church connection. Yeah.
No, it was at the funeral home.
Oh, okay.
And I had actually done that previously for about a third of that, but that was like almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
What happened was I was at a friend's funeral, and I played guitar. And then after the funeral was over, the funeral director came over to me and says, "Excuse me, our keyboard player isn't here to play the organ for this other funeral. Would you be willing to do it for $100?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I went over to the next room, played for that funeral, got $100 cash, and then the funeral director said, "Hey, would you be interested in being our house guitar player? Because some people don't want to have the organ." I said, "Yeah, sure." And so ever since then, I was playing until that funeral home closed down. So, yeah, it was pretty lucrative. Again, it depends on what you're doing and where you're at and how things work.
And how intense we are about sound quality and whatever, that audience, they're not. They want to be touched. It's personal. It's like if I show you a recording of your grandmother on something it's a crappy recording, you're not gonna sit there and say, "Hey man, really? You didn't capture her in 4K? Really?" You're not gonna do that. It's the sentiment. There's a feel to it. So you could just get your guitar, do the song right for them, record. That might work. You just vocal guitar, like whatever. There's clients out there that you can serve and make money using your craft. No ifs, ands, or buts. And some of the stuff that came to me, I wasn't even trying. I was doing some other stuff, and they started pestering me, wanting me to do some stuff. It's like, "Man, so and so just died. I need what you did for that, and I want such." And I'm like, "Okay," and I'm knocking it out. I told them $300 a video, and I said, "Wait, you went through him? Okay, it's $250 a video," and I'm knocking them out, and it's easy. It was easy work. You just put the pictures in. There's transitions that you like. Say the father died, and here's the mother. She's there. Her picture comes up, or the father's picture comes up, and then the transition is a heart that goes into the mother. And she has no concept that this type of thing is going to happen. She thinks it's going to be a regular video. She's sitting there like, "Oh, babies." Like she came and gave me a hug. She's an elder. She came and gave me a hug. "Babies, oh, babies, I love you. Thank you, babies. You put so much thought, So I'm telling you, there's money out there for you guys. Those quinceañeras, they got a lot of money.
And you do have a money dance too.
Think client, yes.
Wow, my wife is going. Look, last night me and my wife were talking. It's an Indian wedding, from India type wedding. The lady's dress is $3,000. For the after party thingy, that dress. That's that dress. This is something they're putting money into. There's things going on where people are spending money, and they're not going to sit there and haggle you down to, "Look, let me get it as low as I can get it." There's money out there. Just letting y'all know.
Do you have any recommendations on where to look for opportunities, like online?
For what?
Just kind of like the stuff you said, like the quinceañeras or something like that. Like, where would you market something like that? Where would you?
Okay. Well, who's going to say something? thought somebody was going to say something. Okay, so I don't know about online. Get into the culture, get to know the people. Like, go where they go. Like, okay, you would see me at a club in, say, Visalia, which is near Fresno, and there'd be a bunch of cowboys in there. What got me in there was I went in there one night and to meet somebody, and they were playing Tupac, and cowboys were dancing to Tupac, and I thought it was the funniest thing. I was in that club for like 5 years, and it turns out on certain nights there's cowboys in there, on certain nights there's the hip hop type crowd, and on certain nights there's dun, 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 that type of music. I was in there all the night, all the different nights. And I get to know the community. That DJ who's in there, he plays for the quinceañeras. I know that if I want to know something about the quinceañeras, I can go to that DJ. But those families, if you get to know the families, if you can't get to know families, like I don't know of anything online. Everything with me is organic. I live in California. You're in California. You guys, what do you? You're in California. We got tacos. We got all these Mexicans out here, and what like viva la raza. Like, are you kidding me? Go into those, like, get to know those communities. Like my wife's co-workers, we got invited and we went. Like, you have to go, when they invite you, go. Like, you'll learn stuff. We went, we're sitting here, it's a birthday party. Her friends and co-workers, are Latina, Mexican. These guys come out in their house with these instruments loud, and they right there in front of us jamming. They paid a lot of money. When she told me, she's like, yeah, we played several thousand for them. I'm like, wait, what? For this? Several thousand. It was 4 musicians, and they get paid a lot of money for her birthday. The Mexican community spends money. They have cultural things. So you want to get into these communities. Like, I have Hmong friends. Like, we're about to have the Hmong New Year coming up. And when you go to the Hmong New Year in Fresno out here at the fairgrounds, you'll see Hmongs up there singing. They're selling CDs, all types of stuff. You got to get into the communities. DJs are a good resource. DJs are a good resource. But as to anything online, I don't know of anything online. I get around to these communities. I know a lot of people. I'm mingling with everybody.
No, and it is really all about community. You know, like what kind of stuff do you do outside of music, Marcelo?
I could do a lot of stuff. I studied film productions, like graphic
No,
design.
not that kind of stuff. I'm talking about what do you like to do outside of the entertainment community?
Oh,
Like to cook? You like to
dang.
paint? You know, what do you do?
What I do is create art. Oh no.
Okay, well, you create art. That's good. But you know, there's things that you do. Like, for example, one of the things that I was doing for a while, up until just about a month ago, I owned a VW bus. And because of that, I was in the VW community. You know, one of the guys saw my bus. Hey, we're having a little picnic. Come on over. So I drove my bus over, talked to some of the guys. Next thing I knew, a bunch of those guys. One of them had a guitar. Started playing. Hey, man, yeah, I got a band. Oh, sure. So we brought the band in. Band played at one of their picnics. Got paid really well, and more VW guys, got to know it. And that's one of the things that I wound up doing. Another one of our SongNet members, very, very successful. One Halloween, he dressed up as a pirate, and he realized how successful that was, so he dressed his whole band as pirates. Next thing you know, he's in the pirate community doing all these pirate shows, because the pirate community's got shows everywhere. It's a huge community. And he was the highest paid pirate band because he was able to write new songs about being a pirate and all that. So it was really an incredible thing until he passed away. So taking your life, not just what you do with your art and entertainment, but your life, and turning that into something that you can relate to other people with is far more valuable. Even if you don't get paid for it, you'll see that there's so much value in it for yourself. That's what's really key about what we do and who we are as artists, because your artist connects your life, not just your art. So
I can tell you that the average person does not do what we do. They don't. We're like, I don't know, magical creatures or something. So if you get into the different communities, just organic stuff, they don't do what you do, and so then you could get paid. I mean, they literally you'll meet thousands of whoever in this community, and they'll be like, "You do what?" So we do karaoke. You can record us. Now, like now the Filipinos hey, now hold on. They are into that stuff, like he said. That you might go in, they got a full blown studio and all kinds of stuff. But there are communities, like I say, a whole bunch, just regular, who knows what, where they don't do what you do, and if you're around people who don't do what you do, you're a special character in that place. And then when we say community, so imagine you're out at some event and two of us are there, and you come up and say, "Hey, I'm Marcella, remember me?" And we're like, "Oh, no kidding." Just from this. So don't be afraid to go out and get to, because you might see Stefan somewhere. Is it Stefan or Steven? How do you like to be called?
Steven, but it doesn't matter.
Steven.
Yeah.
Okay,
I get
imagine.
both. Yeah.
Imagine you see him somewhere and you go up to him and introduce yourself, and you'll be able to have a conversation. Say he's the guest speaker, and you go like he'll be like, "I remember you." So yeah, I'm telling you, get into the different communities, have it be organic. Me, when I first started getting out networking, I'm from the hood. So me going out and talking to people, nah, I'm cool. I was going to events and I didn't say nothing to anybody I'd be there going to stuff for months. Didn't say anything to anybody. And people started eventually coming up. They'd be like, "Bro, I see you all the time. What do you do?"
Mhm.
So Pierre had to leave, or is leaving?
Yeah.
All right, Pierre.
He had
He
to
already
go,
left?
he said.
Oh, okay.
The
See you
other
later,
thing
Pierre.
too, one of the things is, have you ever gone to eventbrite.com just to go to events?
Yep. Eventbrite.
That's
Ooh,
a really
call.
good. Just look in LA and just look at all the different events that are
That's
out there, and pick something that you really enjoy.
You know about Eventbrite?
Oh,
Write
yeah,
that down. No, I'm asking her if what he just told you.
Yeah, no, I know about it. So you guys, these things are, I've just forgotten about these things. They don't exist in my front mind at the moment, but yes.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I was thinking, so meditation came up for me. Like I do a lot of meditation or like self-help stuff. I was like, okay, that's something different outside of art. I'm like, what do I do outside of art? It's like meditation. So that's what came up for me as you guys were talking. So that's the only thing I can think of that's like not art.
New age music, right?
Yeah.
Not exactly comedic, but yeah.
No, but there are a lot of meditation communities. There's a lot of
True.
self-help communities, and a lot of them want that kind of healing music, right? So it's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Point. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you do you actually do video editing?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you really think the average person wants to spend time editing a video and putting in that work?
No, but that industry is so hard to find work in. It's here in LA, it's so saturated to find work in that industry.
See, right. I'm not talking about that industry. I'm talking about humans in neighborhoods who would pay for stuff. That's what I'm saying. A quinceañera video, a wedding video.
Okay.
Like people, they spend a lot of money on weddings. Everything is not the industry. The part of the industry is you simply making some money, being in these communities and being known as the person. Like, okay, imagine you do a video for somebody's wedding and it's just better than what people were doing. Like people are doing this basic whatever. You do this real video where you put thought into it. And then the other people there, imagine me going there with somebody who's going to be my bride. My bride's going to be like, "Hey, nah, I got to have that too now." They not going to want something less. They go in there, if they get a video, they get a rinky dink video versus what you did. Like, I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's not all about breaking into Sony and competing with, nah. There are a lot of people out there who could use your services and they have no concept of being able to get in touch with somebody like you. They would think that they can't.
It's
kind of
yeah.
cool and like posting like basically old school style, just getting to know people, just like you said, just talking to people or going to events, even posting signs and stuff like that. That's what it sounds like. would
No,
be.
you just have to go and meet the people. Like, and a lot of stuff becomes viral. For example, I was talking about Robot Chicken. That started off as a spoof. It wound up being viral, and now these guys are making millions of dollars. But one of the things that you could do is, like, for a favorite restaurant, you go down to like a favorite restaurant. Maybe they make a great lasagna, so you do a stupid Robot Chicken sort of a thing. Hey, have you seen that lasagna? Yeah, man, the lasagna crushes. And then you have a big piece of lasagna come down and crush the two Barbie characters, right? And that's funny. And it only takes a few seconds of editing, only takes a few seconds of videoing, but all of a sudden you've got something that's hilarious enough to be viral. And if you tell the people that have that restaurant, hey, I just used your lasagna for a thing. You want to see it? Yeah, sure. They're going to post that. And then people are going to say, who made that video? Guess what? So that's what goes on. There's a lot of ways to make it happen.
When you add value and or make somebody look good, you can get paid. It's as simple as that. And so, like, there's this 12-year-old kid wanted a song to do a song. Took what this kid was saying about her mother, her aunt who gave her the whooping that one time, grandmother one, grandmother number two. All this stuff was in there, and then played it for the family. And like, you talking about people crying, like that little child, like or imagine a kid's school project where you help some kid on a school project. Their job isn't to have some, to learn how to do video, but they use, like, you do something to where you help a kid on a song, video, whatever, to where the presentation is awesome. It might be for the teacher, but once you get it in that school and a kid shows something off and they have the fair or whatever is going on, your stuff is being shown off to audiences. I'm telling you, there's ways to get in and make money. And there's parents out there who will pay for stuff for their kids. When we were playing soccer, we were going up against kids who had professional soccer players or college star soccer players teaching their kids soccer and paying them. Like, people spend money. So that's all. Add value, make somebody look good, make some money.
Good advice.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much as far as we need to go. So once again, Matt, thank you so much for coming. I owe you
Thank all of
lunch.
you guys.
Yeah. So I owe you lunch next Wednesday or whenever you come by, man.
Bro, you owe me nothing. We do this for the love. Like, you owe me I might end up buying you lunch for having me. You know.
All right.
So, and you guys get Rick on here. He was quiet. Get Rick on here and get him to talk and
Oh, yeah.
show you
No,
what Rick knows. Like, don't let Rick fool you.
He's got a lot of stories.
All right.
And Marcella, hopefully we'll see maybe tomorrow at Jewel Universe. Come on by,
I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll check it out. Thank you for that. Yeah, you guys are super great. Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure, you're always welcome in our community. And also, we do have a in-person open mic kind of a showcase every third Wednesday as well in Pasadena. So that's on the website as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
And once
You
again,
got-
Steve, you rock. Thank you so much again for all the tech stuff and everything that you do.
Most
And
welcome.
and again, we're going to be seeing you guys on January 8th with Joanne Ledesma. It's going to be really good. All right, so that's pretty much it.
everyone.
See you guys next time.
All right. Take care.
See you guys
Everybody
later
have a
now.
good evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah. Bye-bye now.
You're more than welcome, guys. That was fun. I enjoyed that.